Yeah, thanks, Nico. Obviously, we have a very, gassed group on our 45th game of the season. I have to give a ton of credit to the players. Shorthanded, injuries, everybody's still stepping up and earning a hard road point. Um, Obviously, there's a lot of, you know, big decisions in the game. I think almost everyone went against us, and they showed a ton of character to kind of grind. First one was the handball shout early on with Jack Elliott. I can accept that one, right? Nobody knows what a handball is anymore. Referees, players, coaches, no one knows. So I understand that one. The Bedoya one is 100% penalty. They said it was a foul, but they said it was outside the box, but it's clearly on the line, which is in the box. So that was missed. And then the fluky one that maybe decides the whole game, and could decide home field advantage for either Columbus or us. The play where Julian gets taken down for a red card. He goes to the back pocket, but then because Mikel walks in one-on-one, and we get the chance, which we should score, and the game should be over, no question about it. The red card becomes a yellow, unfortunately. Kind of a fluky, unlucky one where you're almost weighing your options. Is it better for Mikel to not even go after the ball there, and play up a man? So decisions go against you. I thought even the foul that gets called on Jack Elliott, Jack does tackle him. And then Cucho tackles Jack, and the ref points that way. The crowd moans loud. It calls a foul for us. The crowd moans loud, and only he knows. But I think something changed in his mind at the noise in the stadium, and he pointed the other way, and that leads to the handball for them. So a lot of decisions that are tough and tight that go against us, but our group continues to fight. A point at this stage is still big. I understand from the fans and the players and the coaching staff, we want to turn these ties into wins. But at this stage, on the road, that's still an important point. My line to you guys was going to be, in these final three games, everyone will be back now and available for selection, and we're going to make a hard 3-game push and go into the playoffs. But Kai got a yellow card, so he's out. So we won't be full strength.
Thanks, Jim. Jonathan?
Jim, you went back to the 3-5-2 tonight,
Yeah.
which in retrospect, you had a lot of reasons to do it. And one of them was to maybe give Olivier a little more freedom to get forward by getting Nate in that right center back spot.
Yeah.
Not only does that get off, Nate has a huge game defensively and deposits the goal. How big a night did he have?
Yeah, Nate's been excellent for us. To watch the growth of a player play outside back, play center back on the right, play center back on the left, and do a lot of jobs for us. He's kind of become a Swiss Army knife. You can plug him in anywhere, and he's such a good competitor and a good kid that he gives us so much. So, Jonathan, the plan going into the game was with the legs that we had, with the injuries that we had, and the depth that we had at the moment. Get us to halftime, right? So you saw the strikers work their tails off, do a great job, Quinn and Chris, make it hard on them. Get to halftime, make the 3 changes, which I almost never do before a game, but out of necessity, we did it. And I think that the center backs, Nathan, leading the way, along with Jack and Damian, had a huge game again for us. You're right, that let Olivier, I'll just say, not have to think about, things on either side of him. It was pretty clear that Nate had his back all game and stepped in and won some big tackles. We're a little more clinical on some of our counters. We could have won today, but overall, we'll take the point and we'll move on.
And Andre,
yeah,
stopped taking goal kicks. He's had some groin injuries before. Do you know what it is and when it happened?
Yeah, so he didn't take any kicks in the warm-ups, so it's tight, it's not pulled, and with the amount of kicks he would have had to make tonight, you start to run the risk. So obviously we don't like to do it that way, but out of precaution to not have him get hurt, you had Jack take the kicks. It's always difficult now because you're stretched and you have to, sprint up as a center back and put some fatigue on your legs. But overall, I think we managed that well. But yes, there is some tightness in that groin area, and we don't want to have an injury. And I thought Dre was excellent tonight. Helped us preserve the point. I would have said it before the game. I'll say it again. That's the best passing and attacking team that our league has at the moment. They're very, very good. We knew that going into the game. It still remains a fact after the game. We were okay with them having the ball, but I think our group was tough to play through and showed a lot of heart.
You can go to Zoom.
All right, Jose Nunez.
Hi, Jim. Good evening. Obviously, Kai having a suspension coming up into this next match, and I think a nice string of really strong performances, if not man of the match performances. How does that alter your game plan going into a tough Atlanta game, Nashville, and then New England, I believe? So very, very busy schedule ahead.
Yeah, it does. The only positive is it gets him some built-in rest, but at the same time, we're much better with him on the field. He's been one of our best players all season. Again, some of the balls he played tonight, not only on the corner kick, but the ball he plays in the first half to Bedoya, where Ali's almost in, a couple through balls to Quinn and Chris. The tackles that he makes in open space, we've leaned on him for basically 45 games this year, and he's answered the call every time. Unfortunately, he'll miss a big one against Atlanta, but this group knows that the next guy has to step up, and that's the way our mentality has been all season. That will continue to be the case. But yeah, can't say enough about the season that Kai's had. He actually sets up a lot of our chances and is one of our best attackers from a deeper position. I think he likes playing as a wingback too because he's a little closer. But yeah, great game from him. Unfortunate to get the yellow card, but he was one of the many people that were yelling about the call that led to the free kick that led to the handball.
How is Bueno feeling? Obviously, that little scare there right before halftime with his knee. Obviously, he aggravated it while he was out in Venezuela, and now he looks into potentially being or wanting to be called back into the international break mid-October. What are your conversations with him? How is he feeling after again potentially an injury?
Yeah, so he's been amazing. I thought he was excellent again tonight. The ground that he covered, again, he has heart. He has a big, big heart. So even at the end of the game, when everyone else is dead, he's still breaking up plays and running with the ball. So really proud of Choo. The one in the first half, I was worried, probably just like you were, because we don't have a ton in the center part of midfield right now with Jose being out, with Leon being out, and just the way that we lined up tonight. But I'll just say that one. Initially, I thought was an injury too, but that was just a little, I'll just say savviness on Jesus's part to, at a moment when they were coming at us, give us a little bit of a break and a breather. So he's okay.
Thank you, Jim. Safe travels back.
Thank you.
David Melandra.
Hey, Jim, as you know, it's always hard to win games on the road. Can you just talk about how big this point was tonight?
It's a big point. We're disappointed in the locker room because there was an opportunity for it to be 3. I already explained that sequence where, red card or score the goal to go 2-0, and it's probably done. So that hurts. From there, in the run of play, we did concede some chances, no question. Andre was busy and made some big saves for us. But again, that's a really good attacking team, probably one of the hotter teams in the league right now. We'll get to play another one that's completely fresh in Atlanta. That was our big reward for making a run in the League's Cup. So tight schedule, tough turnaround now, and a good Atlanta opponent. But like I've said to my group, if we are able to tie or win the next games, you see who the direct competitors are in the conference. If we're able to do that, we'll finish top 4. That's pretty much a guarantee. So tie or win, and that'll keep everybody away from us in the final 3 games.
What has been the biggest difference in these last couple games that has been unable you guys to get those 3 points that you need?
Good opponents. I think at this point of the year, it's ramped up quite a bit, right? So if you go Cincinnati, who just won the Supporter Shield, congrats to those guys. LAFC, right? It's a good Dallas team that is in around the line. If you look at all the data and metrics, they're a good team. That's the one we should have won. If you go by expected goals, we deserve that one. And then tonight, that's a good Columbus team too. So I think it's just quality of opponent. We'll also have now difficult opponents in Atlanta and in Nashville and New England that want points too. So there's no easy games in this league. The East is at an all-time, high in terms of the point total in that middle part. So it's going to be hard. So tonight is a big point. I know that's, 5 ties in a row, which I hate hearing the sound of that. But if you go big picture in our last 10, we've lost 1 game. So we're hard to beat, and that matters in this league.
Jose Nunez.
Yeah, Jim, so sorry. My final question would be Sullivan and Donovan off to New England for tomorrow's match?
No. Well, Chris will be. Chris will be for sure. Rafa and Owethu is the plan right now. Plans change, so don't hold me to that, but that's the plan right now. Obviously, that's a big game that they have there. We have to be smart about recovery and rest. We'll see what the minute restriction should be on those guys, but we want them to obviously help with Union 2 as well.
And do you have an overall message for those guys who may be watching or maybe following this type of conversation?
For which guys? For the Union 2?
For the team. Yeah, the team as a whole. Obviously,
of
an
course.
opportunity to
They've
make
had a great
history.
season. We play a very young group. There's guys that are really close to making the step with us. There's guys that are going to get contracts soon in that group. And, when you get to the playoffs, that's a great achievement. And now it's a new season and anything can happen. So I wish those guys all the best tomorrow. We'll be watching, obviously, like always. And anything's possible. It's difficult on the road in New England, like always. But, you get an early goal and you continue to play the Union way, you can get a result. So, wish them all the best.
Again, thank you and safe travels.
Thanks.
And final question will go to Jonathan Tannenwald.
Thanks, Nico. Jim, was Kai gonna get a night off here at some point anyway?
Never. No, look, he's at this stage, he can handle the load. He can handle the games. I know he's going to be a little bit tired, a little bit sore. He had to come out at the end there. But look, if we're playing against Atlanta at home and Kai's available, I'm picking him. That's just the way it is. You know what I mean? So at this stage of the year, I couldn't look him in the eye and say, you're going to rest this level of trust, love, whatever word you want to use. He's a great player and he's had a hell of a season and we're going to miss him for sure in this game. So don't take that quote the wrong way. In this game, we're going to miss him. And then moving forward, we have a couple big games to end the season.